What's going on, people? It's the Xbot 448. And guys, I know this is an awkward time for me, but I was thinking about a couple topics that we were talking about on next podcast and on CCC this past weekend, and it got me thinking about something. And uh basically it's about Xbox Game Pass and whether or not um Xbox is using it as a marketing deal for the third party. But guys, huge shout out to everybody out there. Yo, thank you guys for tuning in on this video. I don't know, I just think this is a really really interesting topic, and the more and more I thought about people's reactions to the game Just Cause. Just Cause released about 3.5 months ago or so, and last week it went into Game Pass. Um, and it's one of the newest third-party games to ever go into Game Pass. And it got people wondering like what was going on. I know a lot of people on social media was saying, "Well, wow, that game must have sold absolutely horribly," and they just threw it into Game Pass. And I'm looking at this, and I think I have a different, I guess you could say, possibility of what's going on with this. And I don't know. Let's get into it. So, guys, like I said, about 3 months ago or so, Just Cause 4 comes out, and it gets released full $60 title, the whole nine. So people who were interested in the game went and picked it up. They've been able to play it for about like in between 3 and 4 months, right? And last week it went into Game Pass. So people who didn't pick up the game will now be able to enjoy the game if they subscribe to Game Pass. And for people who don't know, Game Pass is a subscription service brought to you by Xbox on the Xbox platform, and where you pay $10 a month and you have full availability to all the games in the Game Pass library. And there are quite a lot of games. Not only that, but when it comes to Game Pass, one of the things that Xbox is doing is when it comes to first party games, when they release worldwide, they automatically go into Game Pass. So, when you're thinking like Halo, Gears, Forza, um, Ori when it comes out, if they make the Sunset Overdrive 2, I would love that. But any game that comes out published by Microsoft, it's first party, um, will go into Game Pass day and date, which I feel is a really good deal. But not only that, they have a lot of third party games. One of my favorites in Game Pass is DMC, the Definitive Edition. That is the Devil May Cry that Ninja Theory made, and that's in Game Pass. But with this whole Just Cause 4 going into Game Pass, and we brought it up on next podcast this past Saturday. Um, K Mega, Predator, and I think even Hyena, because we had a special guest. Huge shout out to Hyena Den, a member of the Saltiest Gaming podcast. He was on the show as well. It was a really good show. But people were talking about how, Just Cause 3 went into Game Pass before time. You look at Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which is another game that was marketed by Xbox. They had the marketing rights to that. That's also in Game Pass now. You look down the line, and it just seems that a lot of games that were marketed by Xbox, either their previous titles are in Game Pass now, and it's gotten people to think that the newer titles will be going into Game Pass as well. And I'm looking at this, I'm like, so you guys think this is a marketing deal? And at first I was like, well, that doesn't make any sense in my opinion. Like they're choking their potential customers out, whether it's 3 months after, whether it's 4 months after. Anybody who buys the game, later on. But then I'm thinking about it and I'm like, you know what? I know because this whole generation, the whole marketing deal thing, it kind of started with Call of Duty. Uh, Maybe a year into this generation. I think it was like 2014, maybe 2015. The marketing rights to Call of Duty was up, and Xbox and PlayStation were kind of like going back and forth with Activision, kind of throwing money out there to see who was going to get the marketing rights. And with those marketing rights, you have basically the earlier access to any type of DLC for Call of Duty, right? So there's people out there, Call of Duty fans, really, really kind of they look forward to that. So it's a big deal for the Call of Duty consumer base because what is going on, Alan? Good to see you in the chat. What is up, everybody checking out the show? I'm talking about the possibility that Xbox is using Game Pass now for their quote unquote marketing deals with third party. Like I said, we talked about it on Next, and when it was first brought up, I think it was either K Mega or Predator who first brought it up. In my mind, I was like, "Yo, that's crazy," but it's starting to make sense, and I'm here to explain why. And I think this is a really interesting topic. Call of Duty, yeah, I know, right? But like I said, they were kind of going back and forth with Activision about 2014, 2015, and Xbox just kind of bowed out of that competition. I guess people were saying they didn't want to spend as much as Sony was throwing out there to get the marketing rights to Call of Duty. So Call of Duty went to Sony. And throughout this generation, you've heard Phil Spencer when people asked him about marketing deals, because we haven't seen any real kind of like those traditional marketing deals where the DLC comes first on Xbox and then later everywhere else. And people were wondering what was going on. Yo, what is up, Redneck Gamer? Good to see you in the chat, bro. But people were wondering what was going on. How come these traditional deals weren't being kind of like signed by Xbox? And Phil Spencer has come out this entire generation saying that he doesn't believe it's fair to do a marketing deal where you get a piece of content for a certain amount of time, locking other gamers out just because they don't have that specific platform. And some people applauded that whole kind of like ideology. Some people was like, you know what, this is a business, you got to go for the throat. At the end of the day, Phil Spencer did what he thought was proper, what he thought was right. Now, yo, what is up, Ice Queen Gaming? Yo, Predator, what up, brother? But so Phil Spencer went with that. We lost, Xbox lost Call of Duty in terms of the marketing rights, and people were wondering if Xbox was ever going to do marketing rights again. All right. So in the traditional sense, when it comes to getting content first, not only do you get your name on the commercials, but you get like the DLC content first for like a month or something like that. I'm here to tell you, I don't think that's ever going to happen again with Xbox. But here's the thing. And I want to know, you guys out there, I want to know how you feel about this. I do now feel, and this is just speculation. They haven't come out and said this, but with Just Cause 4 going into Game Pass, with Shadow of the Tomb Raider going into Game Pass, I feel like they could possibly use Game Pass as that quote-unquote marketing deal, right? Now, for games like, I'm not saying Call of Duty would ever do this, Activision would ever do this, but for the games that Microsoft does sign a marketing deal with, depending on the popularity of the title or the franchise, that's what the time to which the game goes on Game Pass, it's dependent on that. So when you look at Just Cause 4, I feel like the publishers, the developers to that game didn't have really high expectations for that game, and I think they might have signed a deal that was like, about 3-4 months down the line, it'll go into Game Pass. I think they actually did that. Oh snap! What is up? what what's WYD, people? I don't even know. What's WYD? Um, but I feel like that could actually be a marketing deal. Now, people out there who might be skeptical, you're like, well, what's the developer going to gain from this? And I feel like what Xbox could do here, like I said, depending on the popularity of the title, the popularity of the franchise, that depends how long it goes before it goes into Game Pass. So Just Cause 4, it has a fan base, doesn't sell great, so you think about 3-4 months, all right? When it came to Tomb Raider, I believe Square and Xbox have a really strong relationship together, business relationship. So I feel like, they're gonna bring that to Game Pass sooner rather than later, and they did just that. Now in the future, I feel like it would depend on how popular the game and the franchise like how popular they are with gamers, especially on the release and whatnot. Um, and I feel like this could possibly be something that Microsoft is doing that is completely different than what any other kind of like gaming platform is doing out there. And it's really interesting. Now, when it comes to the developers and the publishers, people who are like, well, that can't be possible, and you're thinking the way I was thinking when, like I said, it was first brought up on Next Podcast. Think about it, guys. If you're guaranteed that your title is going to go into a subscription service as soon as it starts kind of like cooling down, first off, that takes your game, that gives you revenue while your game is in the whole pre-owned space, like getting circulated by GameStop and other companies that have, buy these games pre-owned, basically cut the developer and the publisher out of any profits now and just buy these games from us because we bought them from other gamers. That's basically what it is. But now the developer and the publisher will get a steady stream of revenue from a subscription service. And when you look at it like that, it kind of makes sense. Yo, what is up, Antonio? What is up, AP Cool J? Guys, this is one of my live videos, and I want to hear from you guys in the chat. Do you see what I'm saying? That where it would actually make sense, when it comes to the developers and the publishers to do a deal to where their game goes into Game Pass when it starts like cooling down in terms of selling digitally and physically out there to the gamers directly. Um, you get like I said, a constant stream of revenue. Not only that, if your game is coming with DLC, all right, you already have a higher active user base that would be playing the game with the subscription service, kind of like stacked on top of the people who bought the game, right? And those people are potential customers to buy your DLC as well. The more and more I think about it, guys, this actually makes sense. Now, like I said, it's not getting content first. And I want to know what you guys think about that. I've been thinking about this like all day. But how would you feel if Xbox's marketing now is aimed more at getting the third party onto Game Pass as soon as they can, all right, rather than that traditional like Call of Duty marketing deal where you would get the DLC like a month before any other platform. Um, I'm interested to hear what the gamers think about that because I think business wise, I think it works for the developers. I think it works for the publishers, and I definitely think it works for Xbox because they really want to promote Game Pass. They really want to push that out there. You can see them doing that. You can see with the games that they have in there, and like when games like Gears comes out, the new Gears or the new Halo, when the development team, the initiative drops their game, that's all going into Game Pass. All right, so Ice Queen Gaming in the chat said marketing deals is a way to sell the game on any platform like PlayStation and Xbox. Uh, but no, well, the marketing deals, like the companies pay to have their name at the end of the commercials, And like I said, with the Call of Duty marketing deal, it was DLC first on whoever, they're doing the marketing deal with. So I think it's more than that. Um, Cali Rex says, I don't think it would generate enough revenue for both parties. There was this smaller game, the devs canceled the Xbox version because of that. I don't think it works. Predator, dude, I gave you credit. I didn't know if it was you or K Mega, but Predator, I gave you credit on that. And dude, you've had me thinking all weekend about this, man. And dude, I'm Predator. I'm kind of in your corner about this. Now, look at what Calyrex says though. He says he doesn't think that it would generate enough revenue. Now, but with that being said, if the game has future DLC coming down the line as well, you do bump up your potential customers for that DLC with having your game in a subscription service because you have more active players playing the game that actually either bought it digitally or physically. So I think that would be a boost in revenue as well. And I mean, like Xbox might have thrown some money out there on the side as well. It might not just be that revenue, but they might have put a good chunk of money out there saying, yeah, we need third party in Game Pass. Here you go. I don't know. I think it makes sense. Predator, he came and he verified that he was the one on Next Podcast this past Saturday that came up with this kind of like whole ideology of what's going on with Just Cause 4, with Game Pass, and with Xbox in terms of marketing. And we all know the head of Xbox, Phil Spencer, does not like holding content to one platform for any amount of time. He said that that's not fair to the gamers, so we're never going to see those traditional marketing deals like Call of Duty where you're getting the DLC a month before any other platform. I don't know, yo, Pred. Like I said, you made me think about this like all weekend, and I'm leaning towards your corner, brother. I'm leaning towards your side. Let's see what else is going on in the chat. Everybody's saying hi to everybody, which is awesome. Yo, Alan, I enjoy Anthem when I play it. But I've also been playing. Don't tell anybody, Alan. I've been playing Destiny 2 again as well. So, but yeah, not Anthem. The gameplay is absolutely it's great. The gameplay is great. There are a few kind of like few things when you go to Tarsus that are a little draggy or whatnot, but those things in Tarsus, going and talking to all the people and stuff, it really kind of it fleshes out the world. It makes the world kind of like warm, like alive. I like it, but it is kind of like slow to walk around, Tarsus trying to find another mission. Yo, Calyrex, he says, Calyrex says Just Cause 4 didn't do good at all. I think Just Cause 4 needed Game Pass. Now, here's the deal. I feel like the publisher and the developer, of course, they want to make as much money as possible. But if you have played Just Cause, there are points in time where the game looks incredible graphically. And then there's other points in time where the game looks like a 360 game, which makes me question how much money they put into the production of that game, which also would make me question what are they expecting from that game in terms of sales. And I don't think they were expecting, a AAA blockbuster right there. So I'm not sure how much of a, quote unquote flop that, people out there in social media were talking about with Just Cause 4. I'm not sure how much of a flop it was. Like, I feel like their expectations might have been a little more grounded than what, people say out there in Twitter land and on Facebook. What is up, Mojo? Good to see you, my brother. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it, guys. Yo, Calyrex, thank you for coming in and sharing your thoughts and opinions. If there's any other thoughts and opinions on this, please hit up the chat. Let me know. When I do live videos, they don't go on for 2 hours, guys. I come in, I kind of talk about this. I look at the chat and see what you guys are talking about, what you guys think about, the news or whatnot. And in here, what you think about how would you feel if Xbox would use Game Pass in their marketing deals to bring third party games in, sooner than you would expect is pretty much what I'm saying. Because I feel just like Predator, I feel like that's where they're going with this, guys. Yeah, yo, Vector says Just Cause 2, still the best, people, still the best. Mojo's like Game Pass rocks. I got 2 free years of Game Pass uh from games to grunts. Nice, brother. Nice. Just Cause 4 story was way more forgettable than 3, and that's coming from a fan. Oh, Cali Rex. Well, I'm sorry you were disappointed in the title, but I feel, like I said, I feel like the publisher and the developer, I don't think they had like really big expectations for this game. If it did take off, they would be like, hell yeah, and they would just put the money in their wallets and like, yo, this was a great day. But I don't think they were like expecting it to sell tons either. You know what I'm saying? Yo, Christopher Hart says Just Cause 4 is pretty good. Dude, from what I played, and I started messing around, I was flying around a tornado for a while. That's a really cool part to it. Just if you go and you check out the tornadoes, don't look inside because you see the graphical wireframing of the tornado and stuff like that. It's kind of disappointing when you look inside the tornado. But all in all, it's just a fun game. It's an open sandbox. You can attach turbos to anything and make it fly away. You can attach balloons. Like I attach balloons to like enemies and I shoot them up in the air, and I think that's really cool. Kind of like Metal Gear, when they did it in Metal Gear. But it's a lot of fun. It does not get boring at all when it comes to like shooting your enemies up with a balloon. Uh, all right, so let's see. Skull Stomper, my brother Alan. Should I still play Just Cause 4 or uninstall it? Well, brother, it's up to you, man. Like I said, it's a fun game, right? There are points in the game where if you're into graphics, you'll look out at the scenery and be like, "Holy crap, this looks great." And then there's other like close-ups and stuff like that where you're like, "Man, this looks like a 360 game." But all in all, because graphics aren't the end all be all, it is a lot of fun to play. Mess around with all your little kind of like all your little gadgets and devices. Real creative on how you take out your enemies and stuff like that. So it's a fun game. It's got a fun gameplay loop, and I would still play it. I mean, I'm gonna still play it. I have Game Pass. Yeah, see, Christopher Hart said it right there. It's an open world playground. Basically, do what you want, have fun. If you want to ride a gas tank, into the sky, you can try to do that. It's crazy. Yo, L. Paul, thank you, my brother. I am the best on Xbox Nation and Crossfire. Well, Paul, if you like that, L. Paul, if you like that, just remember we do have a podcast right on this channel every Saturday at 7 p.m. All right. It's called The Next Podcast. You might have heard of it. Pretty good production value. Awesome panel of gamers talking games on Saturday. All right, so Christopher, one more time. Just Cause 4 got higher ratings than Just Cause 3 because they fixed the lag that you see in 3 to have no lag in 4. Yeah, I believe when 3 came out, when it first came out, like there were a lot of bugs in there, but they definitely ironed it out throughout time. But there was still, I think I know what you're talking about with that lag. There was still an issue, kind of like throughout the whole life cycle of Just Cause 3. And with Just Cause 4, you're right, they fixed it. So that's really cool. It got a higher rating, but you know, like you said, you don't think it sold too well. I don't think it sold a ton. I don't think the publisher expected it to sell a ton either, though. And I think that's the curveball there. Like people can say a game flopped, but it all rotates around the publishers and the developers' expectations and how much money they put into the development of the game. All right, and I don't think they put a whole hell of a lot into that game. But that's my opinion. I don't know. I could be wrong. They could have spent like $1 billion, and I just don't know about it. But just by playing the game itself, to me, it doesn't feel like they put a lot of money behind the development and production of the game. Uh, Ice Queen Gaming says she has just completed God of War and going to play the first Last of Us tomorrow. Well, Ice Queen, I hope you had fun. I know a lot of people said the story in God of War was really good. I am more of a God of War 3 fan. God of War 3 Remastered was one of my favorite games on my PS4. I like that style of gameplay. I kind of wish they kept it that way. Of course, there's people out there who'd be like, well, no, they had to change it, evolve over time. But I wasn't with God of War from the beginning until now. You know what I'm saying? I came in on 3. I had a lot of fun with 3. Um, and yeah, so I hope you had fun with that. Yeah. Vector X says, if you have an Xbox One X, you gotta play Hellblade. It looks amazing on Game Pass. Guess what, Vector? I am like one level away from beating that game, actually. Um, it's really cool. I actually got proven wrong when it came to that game, Hellblade, and I'm glad I did. I'm glad I got proven wrong. One of my awesome subscribers actually gave me the game before time. Think it I think it might have been Supersonic, and then it went free on Game Pass. But I was able to play it. Like I said, I'm one level away from beating it. But all right, Ice Queen. So you got a history there with God of War. Nice, Christopher. Good to see that in the chat. I appreciate that. All right, guys. Well, like I said, this is a live video. This is not a podcast. I'm not going to sit here for a couple hours and stuff like that. We are going to wind it down. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Let me know. Once I cut off the stream, let me know in the comment section if you feel like this could be where Xbox is going in terms of marketing. Give a shout out to Predator as well, the guy who basically brought this up to us on Next Podcast this past Saturday. Another huge shout out to the Inner Circle Games Network, which this channel is affiliate of. So shout out to all my peoples over at the Inner Circle. Hold on, Cali Rex, do you think Fallout 76 will ever get better and fix all the bugs instead of adding more bugs? Callie, I think Bethesda will definitely work on it. I think it will get better. But don't be surprised if you see that game in Game Pass fairly soon, like maybe around the summertime. If I had to guess, I think that's another game that's marketed by Xbox. It didn't do as good as people thought it would do, or as Bethesda thought it would do, and I wouldn't be surprised if they strike a deal with Xbox and get that game into Game Pass. Just saying. Just saying. But, guys, I believe it's Monday, right? Yeah. Guys, have a great Monday night. Thank you again for hanging out with me and hearing kind of like my thoughts on gaming topics. Shout out to Predator for making me think about this all weekend. My brother, thank you, dude. I am, like I said, I'm leaning towards your corner on this. And, I don't know. Until next time, this is the Xbox 448, and I am definitely signing off.